Wonderful. Hi, everyone. We're going to make sure that the technology is without this evening. And we're going to wait a moment as well to make sure that everything is working properly and that there's time for anyone that will be joining us to join us. Wonderful. So if you're here already, thank you for joining us. This is such a special time. We want to make sure that everyone here can actually participate. So what we are doing is that we are streaming live from Zoom and from Facebook and YouTube. So anyone that is able to be here with us can actually participate on the chat. So if you are here with us and at any point you want to be acknowledged and you want to make sure that that you're able to be heard, then please use your comments there. And as we enter into this space, we're going to have a few different faces popping in at different times. So first of all, I want to introduce myself. I am Bryan, and for this gathering, I'm coming as part of You Being You. And in this gathering that we have, that is for the full moon and the Wesak celebration, I wanted to share a little bit about You Being You. You Being You is a project that I started with Cameron, which you'll hear from her in a moment, a few years ago, almost 5 years ago, actually, with the idea of getting people to connect and getting people to have the steps of how to connect with themselves and find more connection, whether that is from a spiritual or non-spiritual side into their lives. And the idea of this gathering was to connect with not only our the people that are part of You Being You, but also with the wider community and to support the Hatha Yoga Center. And we have two things that I wanted to mention before I mention what is going to happen. Is that the first, that is that if you feel inspired at all, there's a Give a Little campaign that Anahata is having, and you can find that on the Facebook event, and as well we'll share some of the links for that. So if you feel inspired to give, make sure that you do that and that you help support the work that Anahata is doing. And of course, you'll be able to read a little bit more of an explanation there. I just wanted to be brief now. And as well, with You Being You, we have a few events and a few online courses that are online now and a few that will start soon. So we'll also share about that. So if you're interested in doing any of the online courses that might be able to help you on your journey, then go to You Being You and check out the courses. So I'm going to just tell you for this evening. Now we're going to have Cameron that she's going to open up actually the space and is going to talk about the meaning of Wesak, and then I will be doing a movement practice. I will be followed by Karuna that is going to have a talk about compassion for self, and then we'll be joined by the community of Hatha for chanting, and then Cameron again will come back, and I will close the session. So we have quite a lot of things going on, and hopefully the technology is with us. And saying all of that, I invite you all to make sure that you're able to be present with us here, that you're able to be with us, and that you're able to actually stay as long as possible. If it is the 2 hours, stay with us the 2 hours. If it is for a little bit shorter, stay a little bit shorter. But know that also this will stay here. This will stay uploaded. So you're able to come and revisit it if now is not the time that is good for you. But if you're here, I invite you to really be present, to connect, even though we're doing that virtually, to connect with all of us and to connect from your heart and to connect with the energy of the moon and of this auspicious day. So I'm just going to turn to Cameron. If you would like, Cameron, to turn on your microphone and your video.
Kia ora. Kia ora. Wow. Thank you, Bryan, for that introduction, and thank you to Hatha for this collaboration. So we became aware of Hatha Yoga Center through a wonderful human being called Rose Hewitt, who has organized this event as a fundraising event for Hatha's yoga studio because they've been affected by COVID-19. They need some cash. And so we thought, well, we could help out and, help each other, have a great night of celebration. And if we can support the center by selling courses, we're going to donate 50% of everything that we might receive from this audience and other people in the world, because right now we're really needing to lean in and help each other. And, the world has changed really dramatically in the last few weeks and the last few months, and it's knocking on the door of the heart. So the gift of that is that people are opening up in ways that they have never opened up before, that we have the chance right now as a collective to go on retreat, right? We've been sent home, we've got to think about things. We're on our own, we're on our inside life, whether we wanted to be there or not. And so it's a great time to encourage conversation about coming into the truth of who we are. So tonight in this gathering, we're having satsang. So satsang is a Sanskrit word, and it basically means the company of the truth. And when we hear truth, we know it in the heart. We feel it in the heart. And this night particularly is the night of light and the night of love. So it's the time when Gautama Buddha was born. He became enlightened around this time, and he took his conscious death at this time. So the night of Vesak is in India. There's a valley called the Vesak Valley, and thousands of pilgrims from all over the world are there now having a celebration like us. So this is the most sacred time in the Buddhist calendar to come together and to call on our own light and to raise our vibration and lift ourselves up to the light of this incoming energy, which is really strong on this particular moon. So the moon is called Buddha Purnima, and it's the biggest moon. It's a super moon. And the energy of the moon is the energy of light, and it's the energy of the light and the darkness. So right now in our, time of collective change and shift in consciousness, we really need this illumination. We need to be able to look from on high, because if we're using the mind to try and understand this time of change, it's going to be really, really challenging and difficult to do, because none of it makes much sense. So to be able to lift up and have a more expanded view of ourselves and our world and the changes that are going on, is going to really help us navigate this time, because it can seem as though the world's kind of ending, so much about it is closing down and shutting down, and we've been restricted and we've had to pull in. And the value of that is that we get to connect with what's really important. And we get to connect with each other. So all the people on this planet have been affected. And Mama Earth, she's our communal home. So all people of all cultures live on the same planet. So as Bryan was saying, I met him 5 years ago. He just arrived from Argentina. So he came from half a world away, but we connected over this idea of how do we help give people access to ancient wisdom teachings? Because more than any other time in our human history, we need this stuff now, because the ancient wisdom teachings are very simple. They're very pure. And they're all about recognizing that at heart we're the same. Right? So we all need food, we all need shelter, and we all need to stay alive right now. Doesn't matter if we live in New York or New Zealand, we have the same needs. So at this time, we're really being brought into recognizing how what we all truly need is something we have in common. And, as the saying goes, all you need is love, right? So we need to be sharing at that level at this time, because otherwise the fear of this time is going to take over. Because when we're walking in the dark, we can't see, right? So we're stumbling along and we're at like walking in the dark right now. We don't know where this time is taking us. We don't know what this new world is going to look like. And yet all we can, confidently do is just take one step and then the next step. And to get clear about the step that we're in and work with that one, and then know that by doing that, the next one will reveal itself. It's like driving in the dark. So you're driving in the dark and you can only see 100 meters ahead of you. And then by the time you get up ahead, you've got the next 100 meters. So that's the journey we're in right now. And to turn up the light of the heart. So the heart is a communal home. Like we commune through the heart. We commune with each other. We recognize our common unity through the heart. So when we're having a heart connection with people, we feel the same as them. We feel compassion for them when they're hurting. We feel empathy and understanding for the people half a world away who are dying in great numbers right now. We feel that in the heart. So at heart, humanity is one. We're all the same in the heart. And to commune with others and to experience that heart energy, we need to be in touch with our own hearts. So, at this time when we're going through big change and we have these opportunities to gather like this. So sometimes the light of our own heart's a little bit dim. So the communal home of humanity is the earth. Communion home of humanity is the heart. And that's related to the fire element. So the fire element's like the sun in the sky. And our heart is our human's imitation of the sun. So it's warm, it's bright, it's expansive, it's light, and its rays go out. So the character of the heart is to reach out. It's a radiant energy. So when we get into that radiance, and when we align ourselves with practices and people who help us connect with that part of ourselves and bring us into that feeling state, we feel strong, right? Big-hearted people are strong. And right now we have this little body running the New Zealand country, our Prime Minister, rock star Prime Minister, Jacinda Ardern. She's got a teeny little body. She stands up at that podium. She's a little skinny thing. She's really slim and slender. She's got the biggest heart. You know, so her heart and her message of just be kind to each other, be caring for each other, be compassionate, be patient, understand we're all in this together. That's a message for the world right now. You know, we are in this collective awakening, and that's all about the heart. You know, I was like, knock, 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 anybody there? So, you know, in a individual wake-up call, it's like, hello, psst, hey you, you're not paying attention. You're not paying attention. So, you know, right now in the world, we're just being woken up. It's like, there's no going to sleep from this one. We've all been, you know, shocked. And, you know, we'll be feeling that. A lot of people are feeling that. Oh my God, what is this? You know, like, so shock makes the energy go quite chaotic. And so to, you know, bring ourselves in, we need to learn how to, you know, nourish the heart. How do we feed the heart with energy? How do we settle it down? And we all need to take responsibility for that, because our own heart is our own business. Nothing to do with the government. How we see this time, it's up to how we engage with it. And if we see it as, you know, hey, there's a wake-up call, there's a collective awakening, we're all being asked to wake up. And what a wonderful thing, right? We've been asleep long enough. And, you know, in the lead up to this, all these amazing young people from around the planet saying, hey, you know, we got to change this climate stuff really fast. We've got to change our habits really fast. Well, we didn't know how to do that, but it's done now, right? So the earth, you know, she's changing, she's cleaning herself up, she's refreshing her waters, you know, the waterways are running clear, animals are coming back in. I saw on TV last night, they're eating some, you know, somebody's really fancy fence in London, you know, some deer or something, they're nibbling on these lovely little tasty plants. You know, like that nature's coming back. And so does human nature. Like we have what we need inside us. It's already there. And when we come into connection, like times like this, when we come together, when we gather and contemplate these ancient wisdom teachings, we feel that energy come up inside us. Because what we need to navigate this time, it's inside. And thank you for coming. You know, like we are all going to affect change here. And the science of the heart says that the electromagnetic field of the heart is 60 times stronger than the brain. So whatever energy we're putting out from our heart, that's impacting people really powerfully. So if we're in a heart-centered space, in an open, loving, kind, accepting, welcoming space of inclusion, that energy goes out to the people that are in our field, right? And that goes out into the collective field. And what we know from quantum science is everything's connected. like we are all connected. We're one energy. And yet we've been educated as though we're, packages. So we all get packaged up at age 12, and we all get, put in the age 12 package class and get packages of learning. I know this because I used to have an acupuncture college. So we had these things called unit standards. And everybody had to do a little package of unit standards. And at the end of it, we had to test everything in that package. And then we got a big tick from the government, said, yes, you're a star. So, we've been packaged into learning about life as though it's separate parts. But the science and the mystics and the ancient wisdom teachings tell us forever we are all connected. So when we do good stuff for ourselves, and that's the work right now, like to nourish our own heart space, get strong in our heart, light up our heart, lift up our heart. If we do that, that's going to have the biggest impact on the most people. And if there's thousands of us doing that, that's going out into the world, and that's affecting change. Because this is a time of change. It's a time of awakening, and it's wonderful. It's a mix, obviously. And I'm doing a facilitators training group at the moment. And we had a meeting last night, and it was nearly 2 weeks since we met last time. And nearly everybody in the group had a bit of an up and down week, or 2 weeks actually. And so that's the energy we're in right now. It's really up and down. It's wild. It's all over the place. It's, it's confusing. It's out there. It's chaotic. So unless you live in an idyllic place, like I do in the country, where you can just sort of remove yourself from all that and have a little peaceful time off the side, then, that collective chaos is really touching us. So we got to work a little bit harder to stay grounded through this time. And we got to work a little harder to stay uplifted. So it's like that combination of grounding down, lifting up. And that's what we're doing tonight. So we're doing practices for grounding, and we're doing chanting and practices for uplifting, because we need to be this channel between the heaven and earth right now and bring our best possible, highest self into the picture. So on this night, the light of Buddha is blasting down on the earth and just showing up here tonight, being with all of us around the world, whoever's here, 10 people, 100,000, doesn't matter. Just on this night, we're all receiving that energy, and we're here for that. So we're invoking that energy, we're raising our vibes, and we're lighting up to be able to hear what's required of us in this play. Because it's all just a big play. And if your play has been very dependent on the things you own and what you do for a job and all of that, and it's like the Monopoly board, someone's just picked it up and shaken it up, and the houses are flying off everywhere, and all the stuff's gone, and there's no the dice are missing, it's like, what's the game? So the game is to come back to now time awareness, and that's the heart. We access now through the heart. We get into presence through the heart. So being present with ourselves, being present with each other, is that right now it's going to be a lot about slowing down, just slow it all down. There's nowhere to go right now. Can't get on a plane, can't get in the car, so just slow down. Take your time, stay in bed a little longer if you're not doing work stuff, just slow it down. When we're going through major change, it can feel really wobbly because we've left one life, we're heading for another. It's like we're in the tunnel, so it's dark, it's a bit scary, very unfamiliar. So just keep connecting to what's clear for you and step it out from there. and turn the light up. We turn the light up with our practices. And when the light's on, we can see. So in Chinese medicine, we recognize that the heart belongs to the fire element and the sun. And so when the sun gets up in the day, the light spreads across the landscape and we can see. Same when we have the light in our heart turned up, we turn it up. We can choose to do that. It's all within our power. Then we can see, where we are in this journey. What's our next step? That's all we ever need to see. What's the next step? Get to that one and take the next one. This is about tracking through the changes, not planning. We can do a little bit of planning, but not the long-term planning because we're in the mystery, right? So life is a mystery. It's an interconnected consciousness that's behind all of this change. There's one consciousness at work. We're all a little thread of that. And that one consciousness is pouring through all of us. So if we just open ourselves up a little bit, reach up for the light, ground down to the earth, we will know what our part in this play is. Are you there, Bryan? Is it nearly that time? I don't know what the time is. Yeah, so Bryan's going to lead us in a practice now. And one of the reasons I hang out with him is because he's the master of presence. And, it's an incredibly potent power, presence. And when we're being repositioned, right? So position is also a power. Our roles in life is a power. So when we're sent home, we're back in the role of, partner or mother or father or brother or sister or friend or whatever. We're stripped of the roles. So when the roles in our life change, we can feel like we don't know what's going down anymore. So when roles are gone and the positional power of that's missing, and we don't know when it's going to come back, lean into presence. Because being here in your body is the thing that's going to bring your energy into existence. And when you're really present with whoever you're with, you're bringing your heart energy out to them. They're feeling it. And you don't have to do or say anything particularly, articulate. Just being with people right now is kind of like an anchoring energy, because lots of people are in their heads. They're trying to work this stuff out with the head, which is really challenging because there's not enough detail and not enough known factors. So we're in the mystery. When we're in the mystery, we need to be more heart. So to be heart, we need to come into sensing ourselves in the body, feeling what's actually happening inside our body, and coming back to the anchor of the body, because that's really important for us at this time. So Bryan's going to lead us in a practice, I believe, right?
Yes, I will.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cameron, for your talk. And just for technology-wise.
Turn that off. Yeah, cool.
Thank you, Cameron. And yes, we are going to do a little bit of a practice now. And Cameron was just mentioning presence. And that is something that, for me, I've been able to practice and learn and relearn and reconnect with all the time. And what we're going to do now is a very basic and short practice that is based on Tibetan yoga and meditation. And one of the biggest things that I would like for you to take from this session and to experience is your feeling world. So most of us, we're living in our heads, and my invitation is always to come back to the body, to come back to the breath, and to come back with the feelings. And when I'm talking about feelings, what I'm talking about is the sensations, the physical sensations in our body. So it's the way that we are experiencing the energy flowing. So if there's energy flowing in my hand, I have a feeling in my hand, perhaps a tingly feeling or some warmth, however that is. And my invitation is always to try not to judge the experience, to try to make sure that we're able to be with the experience and not label it, not judge it, just be with it. So, however you are viewing this now, I'm going to invite you to sit comfortably. If that's on a chair or on the floor, that's perfectly okay. And I'm going to invite you to just close your eyes for a moment. And we're going to take a few deep exhales. Deep exhales, and with each deep exhale, allowing what came before to be gone. So allow the past to stay in the past, allowing the future to stay in the future. So understanding that whatever happened before it's gone, and whatever is happening is going to happen next is not here yet. So allow that to be gone. Allowing your breath to find a more natural rhythm. If possible, I'm going to invite you to breathe through your mouth, at least for this portion. So in and out through your mouth. And as we let go of the past and we let go of the future, I'm going to invite you to give yourself the permission to be here, present, now, in your body. And to go in and to notice, how does your inner landscape look like at this moment? Trying not to judge it, trying not to label it. Noticing your experience. Knowing our experience is always in contact with that which is happening inside and that which is happening outside. And today, tonight, we have a special moon. We have the energy of Wesak. So understanding that we are going to have those energies in ourselves as well. And especially for women, that you have a much stronger connection with the moon and the moon cycle. Understanding that that is part of your experience as well. So as we connect with our body, with our feelings, with our energies, I'm going to invite you to start bringing your awareness to your throat, neck, and shoulders area. And as we bring our awareness here, we're going to start bringing some movement to our shoulders. So we're going to make some circles with our shoulders, making sure that as we are making circles, that they are big, making sure that we're breathing in and out all of the time. Finding a good place to switch the direction of the movement. And bringing the movement to a stop. Taking a moment just to experience whatever it is that is happening on your shoulders, neck, and throat area. Bringing your chin towards your chest and making some circles with your head. So making them slowly. So don't go too fast. If you find any part in the movement that feels tight, just move back and forth through that space and then continue with the circle. What we're trying to do with these movements is to release some of the tightness and stress that we hold in our shoulders and neck area, and as well to open the throat chakra. And finding a good place to switch the direction of the movement. Paying attention to what's happening around your throat, neck, and shoulders area. Making sure that we're breathing in and out. And bringing the movement to an end. Come back to center. Just take a moment to notice what is happening around that area. Can you feel a little bit more flow, a little bit more openness and space around that area? We're going to bring ourselves to standing. So if you have the space, bringing yourself out to a standing position. Good. And when we're standing tall, the knees are relaxed. And I'm going to invite you to bring your arms all the way up. And you might not see all of them now, but just reach completely up. Making sure as you reach up, that your belly is relaxed, your thighs are relaxed, and now from the feet, the soles of the feet, you're reaching down to the earth. You're reaching down to the earth from your feet, and from your fingertips, you're reaching up towards the sky. To connect in the earth and the heavens and you in the center. We're going to bend to the left. It doesn't matter how far we go. If your body just allows you a little bit. If your body allows you more. If you have a wall just like me, stop before the wall. But keep on reaching out. And slowly come up, center, and to the right side. Again, it doesn't matter how far you go, but keep on reaching up. Coming back to center, opening to the back, opening the chest, opening the armpits. Making sure to take care of your neck. So if your neck is not comfortable going all the way back, don't go all the way back. Make sure that the chest is open and feeling and breathing. Slowly coming back to center. And we're going to go forward and down. So completely allow yourself to go forward and down until your head is hanging and your arms are hanging. And if it feels comfortable, bend your knees. And taking here a few deep exhales. And slowly allowing your hands and arms to start taking you up. until you're once again all the way up, opening and slowly releasing the arms. Taking a moment to just stand and notice any feelings and sensations in your body. Notice if the breath is still flowing in and out. Just noticing your experience. And we're going to slightly open our legs. The toes, you cannot see them, but point them out. We're going to have our hands on our hips with the thumbs pointing forward and the four fingers pointing back. This will help us to stay straight. And we're going to bend our knees and go down, trying to keep our back straight and not leaning forward, not leaning back, going just down. So if we can only go a little bit, we go a little bit. If our body allows us more, we go more. However we can go, we want to be able to relax in this posture. We want to be able to relax and stimulate the lower body energy as well. You want to make sure that your belly is relaxed, that your bottom is relaxed, that your toes are relaxed. Everything that can be relaxed is relaxed. It's just breathing in and out. Noticing the experience. And very slowly coming up. Noticing as you come up, a slightly shakiness in your legs. Releasing the hands, taking a moment to feel. And we're going to open the arms to the sides, completely reaching out to the sides, as far as you can, as if someone is pulling from your hands, and they are opening and opening, making sure here that your chest is open and you look slightly up. And we're going to once again bend the knees and go down, making sure that we're breathing in and out. We're going to stay here, so just feeling. Can you allow yourself to feel and be in this posture? So feeling your fingers, feeling your hands and your arms, your shoulders, feeling your legs, noticing the experience. Noticing what happens if I tell you that we'll stay here for 5 minutes. What happens in your head? We are not going to stay here for 5 minutes, so don't worry. Just a few more seconds. And slowly releasing the posture, not escaping it, slowly releasing it. And taking a moment here just to feel your experience. And when you're ready, we're going to take this to sitting. But try not to lose touch of the experience. If you need to close your eyes, I'm going to invite you, just like we did at the beginning of this short practice, to go in. And to notice, how does your inner landscape look like at this moment? With the movements that we did, even though they are super simple, they move the energy in our body. They allow us to be more grounded and for the energy to flow. So feel that, experience it. Allowing yourself the opportunity to just to be in your body with your experience. Allowing your breath to slow down, to become a little bit more gentle, a little bit softer. And connecting to your heart. If you need to, imagine that in the center of your head, there's this little rock or pebble, you just drop it into your heart. Now you're in your heart. So feeling the experience in your heart. Allowing yourself to be open to your experience and to be open to the energies of this evening. Feel the connection with the moon, with the energy that is available of the Buddha, with the energy that is available from everyone else that is taking part of this, in a celebration of life, your life. We are in an unprecedented time, and we chose to be in this time, here in this body. And we have all that we need. We have all the inner resources necessary to thrive. So when we connect with our heart space, when we connect here, we're connecting with our present. We're connected with our heart that doesn't judge, that is kind and compassionate. And it's all about love. Love for ourselves, love for others, love for all sentient beings, love for the earth and the moon and the sun. So I invite you to stay connected with your heart with your feelings and your presence as we move to the next part of this gathering that Karuna is going to lead us into. I'm going to see if Karuna is ready to join us.
Hari Om Tat Sat. Such an honor. Thank you, Cameron and Bryan and Rose and all the Anahat team who put this together tonight. It's wonderful to be with you. And I was asked by the team that put this together to speak on compassion. And this is, in a way, this is my whole path. So it's always something that I'm trying to unfold within myself. My name is Karuna, and that translates as karma means action, and Karuna is compassion. And actually, I discovered something new today about the word Karuna, which is both coming from Buddhist tradition, and we're honoring tonight the full moon of the Buddha. And it's also in the yogic tradition that this concept of Karuna is very important. And I was reading up on compassion, and the word Karuna, there's an aspect of it, kara, which means hands. And Swami Niranjan, my inspirer, speaks about how compassion and this idea of kara, or hands, is about the action of giving. And he says that something that one does with the hands, something that one does as they spread their hands to lift another up, that's compassion. And so that was my learning actually today that I wanted to share with you. And I think it's really important because it's, when we start to look at this idea of compassion, it's the feeling aspect. And this today in this sharing we're offering, we've been hearing about the heart and the importance of the heart at this time, particularly in history. And it's not just about feeling it. We have to awaken a feeling. It is an inner sense. It is something that comes from the heart. But the important thing is about the action and how we express that aspect of compassion. And our inspirer in our tradition, Swami Shivananda, his tenets of practice are serve, love, give, meditate, purify, realize. And before we get to meditate, we have serve, love, give. Yeah, so these are three aspects that lead us to meditate. So serve, love, give. And these are the qualities really of compassion that we're aiming to awaken in ourselves. And we can start with something small. So often we do, actually in yoga, they speak about this idea of karuna, or compassion, as an equal aspect or as another name for love. So when we truly invoke this quality of love, it's something that's expansive, it's universal. Often our experience of love is coming still from that I, like we love another person or we love our child, but the I is still there. I want something from them, or I love them because they're part of my close-knit family, me, myself, and I. And so that's a conditioned aspect of love. Or if we give and we're able to serve to those people that are close to us, again, it's in a way, it's only the people that we're connected with. And we're invited to awaken our giving and our serve, love, give. And it begins with the people close to us, but to extend and expand that, and to make this so that it's not just something that is the little aspect of love, the love that I is incorporated in, but rather this universal aspect, this aspect of expansiveness, aspect of being able to love, even when it's challenging, to give even when it's challenging. And at this time, it's also about how can we give to ourselves? How can we love ourselves so that we also have the resources to expand and give in a greater way? So when we're in fear, which many people this time of challenge and change and wake up call that Cameron was sharing with us, it is igniting our fears. It is putting us into this aspect of not knowing what's next. And that then puts us into the survival mode. Yeah, our fight, flight, freeze, or our stress response that allows us to survive. But when we're in that survival mode, it's very difficult to feel for others. Yeah, because it's about protecting ourselves. It's about making sure, in fact, we go into a competitive mode to make sure that we will survive when our stress response is activated, when fear is driving the experience in life. So if we can really, first of all, do what we need to do for ourselves in order to find that balance, in order to come into a relaxation point of balance or response, so that we have the resources, that we have the capacity. And some of the ways we can do that is through the yogic practice, through the practices of the Hatha yoga, through the breathing practices that Bryan was just mentioning, through also the attitudes. And this is one of the most important things I think we can start to work with in order to expand this idea of compassion and love in our day-to-day life. So it can start with a small thing, smiling at somebody, or going to your neighbor who may be elderly or somebody who's alone, and of course keeping your social distancing, but serving them by perhaps making them a meal or calling somebody. It can be so small as just calling and checking on somebody who might not have a good support system right now to make sure they're okay. So we can start to give in little ways. And when we give, we get out of the little I. When I'm giving to somebody else, and especially if I'm aiming to do that selflessly, so often we give, but we give like in a business. If I give you that, then you'll give it back. Or if you tell me I'm wonderful, I'll tell you you're wonderful. But to actually give and to love and to feel from that expansive quality of compassion, that expansive quality of heart, allows us to just get out of the I. Yeah. And through that little moment of doing it, something changes in the brain. It actually changes the chemistry in our body. And the more we can feel that sense of expansiveness, that sense of love, that sense of give, we keep changing the chemistry in our body. And that has an impact on our immune system, our health, our mental state. And there's science out there, that the science of compassion, the science of loving kindness. So it's something to think about, that just by taking that little step, in a way we have to fake it till we make it, as they say in the laughing yoga. You do something little and start to expand your circle of giving, expand your family. Yeah. So there was a point where I was with my teacher in India, and at that time I had a child, and my beautiful daughter, Atma Sundari. And I started having, there's pressure from society, as there is, that, when are you going to have another child? Are you going to add to your family? And at that time I thought, actually, no, that's not where I want to go in my life, because I traveled so much. I was traveling and teaching and sharing around the world. And at that time I had a bit of an inner conflict, and I was in a satsang with my teacher, and he said, look, you can be a mother, not to just one person, but you can be a mother to all you come in contact with. And this is the concept I'm sharing with you, the concept of expanding our family. So we often think, I'm the mother to my child, but can I be the mother to the person on the street who also needs those new shoes? Can I have the same quality of mothering or love or feeling for those people that I don't know? And I may never see them again. And I think this is the type of thing in this time in history when we are actually challenged. There's many people in need. If we can do any little thing to give to somebody who might be in need, this takes us out of our little I and expands and extends us in such a way that we start to feel inspired. We start to change our chemistry. We start to be able to expand that more and more. And it starts kind of, often compassion starts in a more ethical, moral way, you could say, that you might feel a sentimental, feeling for something, or there's a cause that you want to support because you have compassion for a particular person or group of people or situation. And that's a good beginning, because it starts to, again, change that chemistry in the body. It starts to give us an expansive quality. But from a yogic point of view, and I would say the Buddhist as well, actually true compassion is a quality of self-realization. True compassion is something where there's a purity and there's a higher force, that it's all expansive. There is no you or me. When we have that sense of separation, and when we go into fear or reaction or into that stress response, as for many this occurs, and for all of us in different times, when we go into that, then we feel separate. Yeah, we feel separate from those people in our lives, maybe our colleagues who we now have negativity towards, or somebody in our family who's triggered us in some way, and we feel separate. It's me and you. But when we can really access that quality of compassion at a deep level, at a more expansive level, which is what the gurus and inspirers and the Buddha speaks about. It's a love and a compassion that is so expansive that there's no you and me anymore. It's oneness, it's that wholeness. And that's what the actual aim eventually is. But of course, we have to go step by step. And the reality is we will find negativity in ourselves. We will judge other people. We will judge ourselves. It's part of kind of the conditioning that we've been given through our experiences in life. But if we can raise our awareness, our mindfulness, and keep catching those negative thoughts, or that judgment, or that sense of separation that we might feel, or maybe the emotion of jealousy, or anything else that might arise, anger. We all have different emotions that come up. If we can recognize in that moment, one of the beautiful practices that Swami Niranjan has been speaking a lot about is about practicing that opposite quality. So when we feel, say, jealousy for somebody, or we see somebody doing something and that arises in us, then to feel that you can be their well-wisher. When we feel that sense of maybe a negative thought that comes, and it will, because the mind is always looking for something that may be of harm to us. And so the negativity will come. But when we catch it, when we can use our awareness, our mindfulness to catch it, then we can put the opposite. Okay, the negative thought is there. What about the gratitude that I could bring for whatever I'm experiencing in the moment? Because again, when we practice the gratitude, it changes the chemistry. When we have negativity, it changes the chemistry in the body. And if we keep on giving into that over time, that becomes our experience. So we have to make that effort to give, that effort to be positive, that effort to see the gratitude. And from that, we begin to train ourselves so that we can come more and more and expand more and more into that. And I think in this time in history, when we really we're being hit from all angles. Yeah, we've been confined in our environments. We might have been confined with people that challenge us even. I'm not talking about all of you, but we, whatever challenge we might have been having, and we've got, government things going on. We have, many of us have maybe lost our businesses, our jobs. So really we're being hit from every angle. And as Cameron was speaking about, this is a wake-up call, and this is an opportunity, and we get now the choice on what we're going to do. There's a beautiful story, which I'm sure many of you have heard before, but there's two dogs and they're having a fight. Yeah. And one is the white dog and one is the black dog and the dark dog. And they're fighting over something. And the question is, which of them wins? Yeah. So which is it that's going to win? The white or the dark, the black or the white dog, the dark or the light? Yeah. The one that's going to win is the one that we feed. Yeah. And this is the same thing that we need to really think about right now. If we feed the negativity, if we feed the fears, if we feed, anything that arises in us from a negative point of view, then that gets the best of us. That takes over. That's the experience that we have. But if we feed the positivity, if we feed the inspiration that, okay, there's a new way ahead. We don't know what it is yet, but there's a new way. If we can feed that light part of ourselves, then that's who wins. That's what's going to expand and express. And it's the same with this idea of compassion. If we can feed it, if we can just do little acts of kindness, little acts of feeling love for somebody, for something that is outside of the circle that we might normally feel connected and loving towards, if we can extend and expand that, it will grow within us. And I think the last thing I wanted to really speak about, which I think is equally as important, is that self-compassion and that self-love. And I don't know about you, all of you out there in the world, wherever you are, but I know for myself, I'm probably my own most worst critic. Yeah, if there's somebody who's going to judge me, it's myself judging myself. And this has also been a lifelong journey, as has been the Karuna, that was my name given to me, that I have to walk the path of compassion, that I have to try to step into the shoes of others. That was the teaching that was given to me when I got my name from Swami Niranjan, to step into the shoes of others and try to give and serve from that point of view of others. And I also am on that constant journey of how can I give more love to myself? How can I be less judgmental of myself? How can I, in the same way I would care for a friend or care for my daughter or care for somebody who is in need, which I'm actually pretty good at that, better at that than caring for me. Yeah, so it's also about how can we now, in this time where we've been given space, where we've been given new opportunities. And I know for many of us, it's also challenging. There's changes that we are unexpected, but within that, there's also some space that's being given. Within that, there's also new opportunities that we have no idea how they'll unfold. And if we can give ourselves love within that, give ourselves space within that, give ourselves a pat on the back within that, I think this is also a very important aspect of how we can continue to just really face this time with positivity and use it to the best of our capacity and grow. Yeah, so everything from a tantric point of view in our system of yoga comes also from Tantra. Everything and anything that we face, it's about using that for our understanding, using that for our growth. So at this time, we have an opportunity. Yes, it can be difficult, but how can we use that? How can we grow from that? And practicing some of these qualities of compassion, the serve, love, give, really gives us a pathway. It's a pathway that allows us, it's a way out of the I, it's a way out of my own conditioning, it's a way out of being stuck in a particular emotional or mental state that may be negative and contracting and not allowing that expansiveness. So my final message is serve, love, give, both to ourselves and also to each other, and to expand the family. So it might be that just the people you know now that you can give to, but start adding to that, start expanding and extending that little by little, so that that love and that feeling of compassion and hope and service goes further and further, and allows us over time to create this positive world that we all want to be a part of and we all want to create and live in. So thank you so much for having us here, and very much grateful. Hariam. That's it.
Wonderful. Thank you, Karuna, for that. We're going to make sure that we change the just going to that we change the camera over at Hatha so they can get ready to make sure that we are in the space to go into chanting. So if you are preparing yourself, just be comfortable. to actually engage with your entire being and connected with your presence, just as Karuna was just talking, making sure that you are bringing that love and that compassion to yourself. So just sit comfortably, and we're going to enjoy as soon as we are ready to enjoy some chanting. And I'm going to, in the comments on Facebook, I'm going to add the lyrics of the mantras so that you can follow along, just in case that you don't know it. So just let me know when we are ready to go, and then I'll turn off my camera and my microphone.
Hardy on. Good evening. Good morning. The words are Om Namo Amitabhaya, Buddhaya Dharmaya Sanghaya. Om Namo Right. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. And there is a jewel in the lotus flower unfolding deep within my soul. To be a jewel in the lotus flower unfolding is my highest goal.
Om Mani Padme
Beautiful. Cameron, are you there? Would you like to?
Can you hear me?
Yes, now.
Oh, that was so beautiful. Thank you very much. That was very sweet. So let's just stay in that sweet energy and just take your right hand now and put it on your heart and put your left hand on the top of that. And take a few breaths, just your natural breaths, and just tune into the feeling inside your heart right now. Probably find that it's pumping a little bit. When we sing, we make the heart open and soar. Just allow yourself to hold your heart in your hands and just tuning into that beautiful vibration that's been awakened through the chanting. Close your eyes. And give yourself permission to know that there's nowhere you need to go. There's nothing you need to do right now than just be here with yourself in this space, connecting to your inner energy through the heart. And be aware that as you sit here or stand with your heart in your hands, that there's an awareness presence which is aware you're doing this. So this light of awareness that exists as the background presence to our lives is the one that's watching us having this experience right now. So it's watching how the breath moves in and out of the body. It's aware of how the hand feels as it rests on the chest. It's aware of the feeling of the palm as it meets the chest. It's aware of that point of connection. And staying with the sensation of the breath itself, just being aware as when you breathe in, as you breathe in, your breath naturally arises, comes up to the top of the breath, and then as you breathe out, the breath falls away, goes down to the bottom of the breath. So you're breathing in, receiving the breath, reaches its top, and then it turns around and goes out as you release the breath. So stay aware and connected to this sense of receiving and releasing the breath right now. And next time you get to the top of the breath, as you breathe in, just be aware of how there's a natural space at the end of the in-breath. As you release the breath, notice how there's a natural space at the bottom of the breath. And as you breathe in and out right now, just allow that space at the top and the bottom of the breath to expand just a little bit. Staying with a natural breathing. And notice how that feeling of expansion that's there at the bottom and the top of the breath is the same as the feeling that's there in the background of your mind. It's actually watching that you're here now in this space right now. And be aware of that presence as being very light. You can imagine a column of light coming in through the top of your head, traveling down through your spine, and down deep into the earth. And as you breathe in and out, you're breathing up and down that column of light. And as you connect with the feeling of that column of light, just allow that column of light to expand. Expand to fill all the cells and tissues of your body. And as it expands through the cells and tissues of your body, it's clearing and cleansing. And allow that expansion to go out beyond the body into the etheric body, to the energy field around your body. And as it expands, just notice how it's clearing and cleansing the space around you. And allow it to fill the light space of the room that you're in right now. Filling the room, effortlessly expanding. Expanding into the whole house or the whole building, wherever you are right now. As you breathe in and out, that light is just effortlessly expanding, going further out into the space around your building now, right out into the village or the town or the city, wherever you live. Just letting that light expand and spread naturally out from where you are, your individual space, right out through your community. Just imagine it just spreading right around the planet now. And imagine as it travels out from the space where you are, it goes out and connects to the spaces where all the others are. All the others who are in prayer right now, so that we're connecting our lights. It's like a grid of light surrounding the planet. You're a little PowerPoint in that grid of light, and that light that comes out from you is feeding into the grid, and you are receiving from the grid. And just allowing that light to just wash all over your body. infusing every single cell in your body with light, with loving vibrations. Notice how you can move from your sense of yourself in the body as a light and love vehicle, and then take that light and love out to the world, allow it to spread around the world just naturally and effortlessly, just imagining the globe and the light that you are is emitting light that's just traveling at the speed of light all around the planet. And as it does so, it's connecting with all the other points of light, all the other light bearers who are at this time seeking to be their highest versions of themselves. And serving. Serving the big light that wants to come through at this time. And imagine that right there within you, standing right behind you, is the queen of your being, or the king if you prefer. So the supreme ruler of your life is standing right behind you. And imagine her loving, energetic arms embracing you from behind, wrapping all around you, and holding you in this lovely, tender embrace. Infusing you with love and light and strength and power. And she may even want to whisper in your ear right now. It's something that you've been wanting to know. You can ask her now. And thanking her and letting go and knowing that the answer doesn't come immediately, it'll come at some future point when you need it. And very gently, I want you to now begin just very, very softly and gently start circling your hands on your chest. Little gentle circle. Feeling the body beneath your hands. Feeling the physical sense of your physical vehicle. And feel the warmth. Feel the warmth of your heart energy. Take a few deep breaths and bring yourself back into the physical sense of your body. Notice the feeling of your bum on your chair or your seat beneath you. Maybe you can feel your feet on the floor or your knees on the floor beneath you. Bringing yourself into a felt sense of your physical vehicle. Just really gradually making some circles around the heart space and the chest. So taking your hands, starting to circle around your chest. Coming into your body, you might like to open your eyes if your eyes have been closed. Coming into a felt sense of your body now, feeling the warmth. So the heart propels the blood, and inside the blood is the spirit, the light. So as we activate the heart center through chanting, through meditation, through exercise, we activate the propulsion of the blood and the spreading of that awareness throughout our being. So activating the heart energy helps to open and expand our awareness. That's why we feel so good after chanting, meditation. So right now I want you to stand if you can, if that's easy. And be aware of your feet, right? Be aware of your feet and be aware of yourself as a channel. So you're a light channel. You're reaching to the heaven. So you're reaching up. At the same time, you're grounding down. So with this practice, we're going to just open up the heart energy. So the heart is a muscle, sits in here, it's in the chest. It's the size of your fist. So it's relative to the size of you. So if you're a kid, you're going to have a heart size of a kid's fist. If you're a big monster man, you're going to have a big monster fist, big monster heart. Right? So it sits in here. And its job, as I said, is to propel the blood. And the blood in Chinese medicine is the root for the mind. So when we do practices that propel the blood and open the space around the heart, we open the space of our mind. And if we're doing practices mindfully, we put the spirit in the presence of the body. So embodied presence is what mindfulness is. So to be mindful, we want to be here and now, in this moment, in this package. So a simple way to activate that heart energy, just with a little meridian massage, is just to take the hand, circle around the heart like I'm doing here. We're doing this in a clockwise direction. And then take the energy from the heart and run it down the hands. So Karuna was talking before about the hands. Kara is the hands. So when we activate the heart meridian, we open the pathways that goes down the arms and down the hands. So the heart pathway goes around the chest, comes through the heart itself, comes out the armpit. So when we tickle people, we laugh. It's because it's connected to the heart. So we go down the arm and into the small finger. There's another pathway that goes down into the middle finger, another one into the ring finger up over the back, another one into the small finger. So these three fingers, the outer three fingers, are all connected to the heart. And perhaps some of you might have noticed with Bryan's practice that you could feel these ones turn on a little bit more. So those practices he was doing before with the arms reach out, they really activate that. So great practices for the heart. Back to us. So, right, we're going to do the circling around. So we'll just do 3 times. So 3 times, 1, 2, 3, sweeping down the arm and sweep away. 1, 2, 3, sweep down the arm and sweep away. 1, 2, 3, sweep down the arm and sweep away. This is a very simple little soothing practice, especially if you've got a lot of heart energy going off. So if you're stressed out, if you're strung out, you're really busy in your head, things like that, just doing this little sweeping of that pathway will help sort of correct the flows, because the body is designed to rebalance itself. And if we do small movements to help open those flows up, it will just automatically start sorting itself out. So all the meridians are bilateral, which means bi is 2, lateral is the side. So both sides have pathways. So even though the heart itself is a little bit to the left, it has an equal pathway to the right. So we're going to do the same thing on the right. So we're going in clockwise direction. 1, 2, 3, and we're going to stroke down the arm and sweep away. 1, 2, 3. Stroke down the arm and sweep away. 1, 2, 3. Stroke down the arm, sweep away. Very, very simple way to take a lot of excess energy, a lot of, hyper kind of energy, and clear it from the body. It can be as simple as that, right? One we can do for shock and insomnia and, more extreme kind of distress in the heart is opposite. So we take the left hand, we put it on the chest, put the right hand on top of that, and we go in an anti-clockwise circle. So we go up to the top, we go across to the right, down. And we do this 12 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And when we get back to neutral, we take a breath in. And as we breathe out, we push on the chest. Breathe in. Push on the chest as we breathe out. Breathe in. Push on the chest as we go out. And this is one that we can use for clearing a build-up, accumulation. So if we've got too much tightness in the chest, or if we've had a lot of shock, or if we're feeling quite freaked out and we're all sort of overstimulated, if you've got pain in your chest, if you've got panic attacks and your heart's beating really fast, if there's a disturbance there, and so you'll feel that disturbance because there'll usually be tightness there, or maybe banging heart, or if you've had a shock and you're all sort of freaked out and your mind's everywhere, that will bring your mind back. So we're going to do it again. So we put the left hand on top of the heart, right hand on top of that, come up to the top, across to the right, down, and back around. So that's 1, 2, 3. So you've got the intention of clearing the heart when you're doing this. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Breathing in. As you breathe out, you're pressing on the heart and exhaling. So that's very useful for clearing excesses. Just having a look at the time, 25 past, okay. So again, if you've had a shock or if you've got congestion in your chest, if it all feels tight there, that'll help sort of blow out that sort of stuck energy. This other one that I was doing before, which is a clockwise direction and just sweeping down the arm, that's more just for gentle, calming, settling sort of energy. And there's a big therapy around at the moment, it's called havening, which is pretty much this kind of thing. So the heart, as I said, all the pathways for the heart flow down the arm. So when we handshake, when we hug, when we say hi, we're sending heart energy. So the heart extends to the hands. And as Karuna says, the kara, the hands, when we give a hand, we take someone's hand. We lend a hand. So the hands are an extension of the heart energy. So one more practice. And so in this practice, we stand shoulder width apart. So we stand shoulder width apart, the knees are slightly bent, and the arms are loose hanging by the sides rather. So in Qigong, we always have the arms and knees slightly bent. So there's a flow like a river. It flows, around bends. It doesn't flow like stiff lines. So big difference between Qigong and yoga. Oftentimes in yoga, you're kind of extended. In Qigong, there's always a bit of a bend. Okay, so the flow happens when you're more bendy in the system. So with this one, we're going to take a breath in, and as we breathe in, we're going to raise the arms, palms down to the ground. We're going to raise them up directly in front of the shoulders. As we breathe out, we're going to turn our hands over, and we're going to open the palms out to the side. Then we're going to bring the palms back together, palms facing each other, turn the hands back down to the ground, and go down. So do that with the breathing now. So we breathe in, raising the arms. Breathe out, opening the arms out to the side. Breathe in, bringing the hands back together. And breathe out. Breathing in. Turn the palms over, breathing out. Breathe in, palms back together. Turn the palms down and float them down to the ground. So we're always, in Qigong, we're always moving smoothly and softly. So it's really soft, it's open, it's flowing, it's gentle. And just very smooth. So we're aiming for very smooth movements. You're going to be a smooth mover, raising the arms, opening the arms, closing the arms, hands down to the ground, palms down. Let's do a couple more. So raising the arms, palms face each other, opening out. So what I'm actually doing here with this one is as I come forward, I'm going to show you on the side, okay? So I'm taking the arms up, and as I open the arms, I'm tipping forward slightly on the balls of my feet. As I bring the arms back together, I go back to neutral and down. So I'm raising the arms, turn the palms to face each other. As I open the arms out, I'm coming slightly forward onto the balls of my feet. And as I bring the arms back together, I'm going back into a neutral foot. So weight evenly balanced between the heels and the balls of the feet. So arms raising up. As I open the arms, breathing out, tipping forward, breathing in, bring the hands back together, turn the hands back to the ground and down. This one is very, very grounding. It's grounding and opening together. So we're opening the heart space, we're closing the space, and we're coming down to the ground. So grounding right now is one of the biggest needs of everybody, right? Because it's such a tumultuous time. So to stay centered within ourselves, we need a combination of opening up and grounding down. So, in tonight's gathering, we're really bringing you a combination of those practices where we're coming into the body, to find our ground. So the body is the manifestation of earth. So every day we eat from Mama Earth, we take her food and her flowers and her fruits, we bring them into our body, they are transformed. So the earth's job is transformation. Digestion's job is transformation. We turn those fruit and flowers and foods into flesh. So our flesh is akin to the earth energy. Our heart is akin to the fire energy. So the fire is warm, it's expansive, it's light, it's moving. And so the heart is the place that warms us, keeps us light, keeps us moving, keeps us in touch. So, to to keep extending the arms of love. And as Karuna was saying before, we don't know where the road's going. It's okay. We just need to step, footfall by footfall. We will end up in this new place, and to just trust that there is a plan and we're in it. And if we stay very present to our direct experience each day and be aware of that big wide world that's going on, but tend to our own little world. We tend to our own little world, and as Karuna is saying, we can expand that circle a little bit, but self-care is critical right now. It's one of the greatest things we'll offer the others around us, is a calm, centered state. So thank you for joining us. Beautiful evening. Thank you to Anahata, the beautiful chanting. That was so sweet. And it's really lovely to be in the circle together. And we are also having a Saturday webinars for the next few Saturdays. If you want to join us there, you can too. And we'll see you another time. Hari Om, take care. Great love to you, and do get outside and see this big moon tonight. So thousands of people around the world are tuning into this energy, and by imagining that, we will be plugging in, because there's no separation. It's only it's only that our limited understanding can't quite embrace the amount of connection we have to everything. And that this time is awakening us. See it as that, it's an awakening. And just like when you get out of bed and you're not quite ready for it, or, the day's a bit cold or whatever, you're a bit shocked. So, some days it'll feel more full on than others, and to stay grounded and to stay light, that's a lovely combination.
Yeah. Thank you, Cameron, for that. And thank you, everyone that has been part of this evening, and to everyone that will be joining us in the next couple of days as this stays uploading on Facebook and YouTube. Please use this time, as Cameron was just saying, as we've been saying throughout this session. Make sure that you're using this time for connection, especially this day. Such a powerful energy, such a powerful moon, to be able to stay connected with your body, in your heart, with presence, grounded in your body, grounded in the earth, open to the possibilities that are limitless. So we want to thank you all for being here and for being part of this light that we are turning into the world that is much needed. And if any of you feels inspired to, I just put the link to the Give a Little campaign for the Hatha Retreat Center. And if you are able to and in a position to do so, please donate if you are able to as well, or if not, please also share the link. That will help a lot. And for all of the You courses that we have and that we are going to put more and more for this month of May, any purchases of the online courses will go 50% to support on Hatha as well. So if you feel like you need some more support and you would like to join us in some of these courses, please do so. Please come check them out and see if they speak to you. We are putting a few more courses soon. So just make sure that you're able to use this time for your growth, for connection, and for being. And that is one of the biggest things that we can learn how to do. So thank you very much from our heart to your heart, to everyone that has been here. And if anything, please send us a comment, send us an email. If you have some questions about some of the practices that we've done, please comment and take this experience with you for the rest of the evening and for the coming days. So much love to all of you, and thank you to everyone that has been involved in making this happen. And I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.